Gatlinburg wasn't built by giant hotel chains. It was built by small family businesses, roadside lodges, and local families who opened their doors to visitors long before the Parkway existed. So if you're looking for a place to stay in Gatlinburg that still holds to those values, keep watching to learn more. Welcome to Bear Facts, where we explore the Smoky Mountains one bear fact at a time. Hello everyone, and welcome to our channel. If you've been to Gatlinburg recently, you might have noticed a few changes. Not only are there growing attractions and more traffic, but the lodging and hotels and condos popping up everywhere are definitely redefining the landscape of Gatlinburg. However, if you look closely between these posh, brand new, sparkly buildings, you're going to see a different part of Gatlinburg, an older part and a quieter part. Tucked back behind the creeks and rivers, you're going to find these small mom-and-pop places that are still around and still active today. These old-style motels and inns represent a historic part of our history called roadside Americana. It is a part of our past that is long since decayed. Maybe if you go down Route 66, that might be one of the last places besides Gatlinburg you can still find it. Now, these places may seem dated or not as flashy, but here's where I want you to stop and think before you do your next booking in Gatlinburg. Because sometimes appearances can be misleading, and you might be lured into a shiny new hotel with promises that just don't match the price. Sometimes you need a vacation that isn't something new, but rather something old that has stood the test of time and comes with history and a sense of the past. So today we're heading into Gatlinburg to visit some of the oldest independently owned hotels left in town. The kind of places that remind you of what Gatlinburg felt like before everything became bigger, louder, and more commercial. The kind of places where hard work, family ownership, and the small town hospitality still mattered just as much as the vacation itself. But keep watching to see what the last place on the list is, because believe it or not, it might actually be the oldest. There's still some debate about that, and I'll let you make that decision yourself. All right, we're going to start with the very first hotel, and this one is reported to being the oldest one in Gatlinburg. It's called the Gatlinburg Inn, and it's right smack dab in the middle of Gatlinburg. It was established in 1937, and the hotel has some of the best views of the Space Needle and is rubbing shoulders with one of the oldest attractions in Gatlinburg, the Sky Park. And like I said, they're going to argue that they are the oldest. Now, its age and grace and deep connection in Gatlinburg's history is one of its biggest draws. When you walk through their lobby, you can not only see its age, but you can smell it. This inn is one of the few places that hasn't fully surrendered to the loud, crowded, fast-moving tourism scene surrounding it. It's part of a bygone era, with its rocking chair-lined porch, mountain lodge decor, reading nooks, and surprisingly quiet contrast to the chaotic world just outside their doors. They are not well known for their over-the-top amenities, but they do have a few, and one of the biggest, besides free parking, is their location. It's in the prime spot of all of Gatlinburg. The Gatlinburg Inn also does have a small, modest outdoor pool. And of course, one of the things that many people review and rave about here is their breakfast. People really love it here. If you want a place that actually feels tied to the history of Gatlinburg instead of just another tourist hotel, the Gatlinburg Inn is hard to beat. But is it really the oldest? Now we're going to head out through Gatlinburg and explore some other places that have seen the ages and are still welcoming visitors with open arms, and in some cases, warm hearths. We're going to head on over to the Greystone Lodge on the river, a place that is still family owned and has been around since 1962. It's located directly besides the Little Pigeon River and is within walking distance of Ripley's Aquarium, Anarchista, and most of the downtown attractions. This hotel is built around convenience without completely losing the mountain atmosphere. There are a lot of benefits to staying here. One is that it's close to the river. In fact, it has a lot of river view rooms for those of you who want to have the droning sound of the river below you at night when you're sleeping. And then, of course, the fact that you are literally sitting right across the street from the Ripley's Aquarium, which also is the main hub for the public trolley system, making it an extremely accessible location to get up and move around without moving your car itself. You aren't fighting traffic as much in this area. You have plenty of parking, and of course, they have other amenities, such as a small outdoor seasonal pool. Many people enjoy having their own personal balcony, and they also offer a free continental breakfast. Though it's not quite as big as some of the others, it's free, and free is free. I'm good with that. The next place we'll be visiting is the Sidney James Mountain Lodge, which dates back to 1958 and is owned by the Maples family. This hotel defines resilience, as they have managed to not only stay open for the last, 70 years, they've managed to keep their doors open even after a major fire this last winter. The hotel represents the more affordable and laid-back side of Gatlinburg lodging that many repeat visitors still appreciate. But they're also located close enough to the Parkway you can walk there, but far enough away that you don't have to deal with the traffic and noise that comes along with it. They're very close to the entrance to the Roaring Forks Motor Nature Trail, and they also have a small recreational park, the Minot one, right down the road from them. The hotel features 3 outdoor pools, an indoor pool with waterfall and grotto, a creekside seating, and a restaurant called the Poolside Cafe that actually has a pretty good variety of breakfast foods and lunch at a reasonable price. The hotel is pet-friendly and has large family accommodations. The downside is that the building and room layouts are a little bit showing their age, and obviously the fire did take out some of the rooms, and they're probably going to be under remodel for quite some time. The Sidney James Mountain Lodge is perfect for people with large families, pets, and people who want to be close enough to Gatlinburg, but not too close. And they're also pretty budget-friendly. The next place we're going to visit is probably the 3rd oldest lodge in all of Gatlinburg. It's owned still by the same family, and it was opened in 1941. The Zoder Inn Roadside Hotel will provide a truly authentic roadside Americana experience in Gatlinburg. It started as a few cozy cabins the family built along the river and then slowly expanded from there. The hotel is a hodgepodge of old and new, though they have modernized here and there. The Zoder family has worked hard to maintain their original charm without sacrificing their history. Located over near the Roaring Forks Creek, the hotel is right on 441, 321 as you enter Gatlinburg and as you are leaving the spur. The hotel is close to the Parkway, as well as many of my favorite places, one including Chesapeake Seafood House right across the street. The biggest draw here is definitely the creekside atmosphere and mountain lodge personality. Many rooms feature balconies and overlooking the water. The property is still surprisingly connected to its nature, despite being so close to the downtown area. They have a few amenities, including morning pastries and coffee. There's an indoor-outdoor pool, family suites, creekside seating area, and fire pits. The downside is that during the peak tourism months, many visitors feel the pricing climbs a little too high for them, and they do not have a complimentary hot breakfast at this time. As a side note, if one of your goals is to spot a wild bear while you're in Gatlinburg, consider staying in one of these places that's close to a creek or river. Many guests enjoy spotting bear right along the rivers and can see them right outside their windows or balconies as the bear come down in the very early mornings or late evenings looking for food. Just remember, don't feed them. It's illegal. Now, if the name itself doesn't scream roadside Americana, nothing will to you. Because the next place we're going to go to is called Carr's Northside Cottage and Motel. The family purchased the property back in 1941 and developed it to suit a family-style lodging. They still focused more on simplicity and atmosphere than flashy amenities, and Carr's offers small cottages right down in the middle of Gatlinburg. You probably wouldn't even notice they're there because the hotel is pretty obscured from the road. The biggest draw is the easy, peaceful atmosphere and closeness to the Parkway, and the hotel does offer free parking. What often surprises many guests is actually how large it is. From the Parkway, it just is very unassuming and small, but once you're down in there, it is much bigger and more expansive than you expect. The property has stone walkways, shaded trees, porches, and a creek flowing through the property, making it feel more like the mountain retreat that it actually is than most of those commercial hotels. The amenities are pretty basic. The hotel has an outdoor pool, play area, and picnic area, and the downside is that they don't offer any continental breakfast at all. Also, many visitors who are expecting luxury or high modern rooms may be disappointed, but for travelers searching for the authentic old Gatlinburg charm, Carr's delivers something increasingly difficult to find. Back towards the Parkway, we're going to head to the Gillette Motel. And this place was one of the last places we visited fairly recently in the Gatlinburg area, and have to tell you, I was very impressed. This place has been locally owned since 1957 when it was first opened, and it was taken over very recently by another independent owner. I was able to talk with the owner, and she was explaining the struggles that they have been dealing with, not only in finding help for helping with the remodel that they're going through, but with the competition literally on the other side of the door. There's a very large Marriott that's going up right behind the Gillette. However, the family seems to be doing a fantastic job with maintaining the property and standing up to the competition. The biggest draw in this location is simply their location itself and price. The Gillette offers a super location. It's not directly on the Parkway, and you don't have to fight the traffic here. And they also are close enough within walking distance to the Space Needle. So if you are going to be doing any of the top attractions in town, the Gillette offers both value and location. The hotel also has a small outdoor pool, free parking, and though they technically don't have a balcony for each room, they do offer you a chair if you want to sit out in front of your room and take a look at the construction happening across the street. Now, to be honest, this place has done one of the best jobs I have seen in a very long time with renovation. They put in some personal touches, and someone there really understands their decor. It's beautiful inside. I loved the wallpaper, loved it. Though, I have to say, if you have kids, do not give them crayons in the bathroom, because I would imagine that the owners wouldn't be happy if they started to fill in the lines. Another place we're going to talk about is called the Crossroads Inn and Suites, and this place definitely reflects the more affordable and practical side of Old Gatlinburg. It's definitely a much more dated and older place, but it was established in 1960, so if you're looking for the classic roadside Americana experience, this place will provide that for you. They're on that weird road, I don't know if we call it. It's like 321, 441 merged right there before they split off in Gatlinburg. But they're also very close to the Carr's Hotel as well. The biggest draw here is price and location. It provides a straightforward place to stay within walking distance of many attractions without the super high prices. And they are very clean and very modernized. We had no problem with any of the rooms. It was nice. They don't, however, have a lot of amenities. There is an outdoor pool, which obviously is open seasonally. They advertise they have family suites, and they also advertise a complimentary breakfast and free parking. The free parking is definitely a plus down there. The downside is that the exterior corridors and the model style layout can feel dated, but if you're looking for that kind of Americana experience, this is perfect for you. Okay, we're going to end this video by talking about what could arguably be the oldest lodge in all of Gatlinburg. Sitting across from one another are two hotels that have been here for a little while. Both hotels straddle the Little Pigeon River and are looking at each other from the Parkway. Well, it's 321, 441, whatever that name of that road is. I can never tell you. Anyway, the one hotel is called the River Inn, and the other one is the historic Rocky Rivers Inn. Both places are owned by the Patel family and have been part of the family since about 2000 when their father purchased the land. Now, about 2 or 3 years ago, the brothers basically took over everything and they started finding investors and started to develop both those properties. They started with the River Inn, which is a newer building. It's only built in the 1990s. That building itself has had a lot of remodeling on the inside, and they did all of the rooms all the way through the building. So it has been modernized. It has a small outdoor pool, free parking, and a continental breakfast. One of the nicest features about that property is their outdoor fire pit and relaxation area that's in front of the river. It is a lovely hotel and much, much more budget friendly. So where does the debate come in? Well, here it is. The Gatlinburg Inn established and opened their doors in 1937. However, if you look across the street from the Rocky River Inn, you're going to see the original building that was used to house and lodge people back in 1935, making this actual property and this resort the oldest in Gatlinburg, only by a year or so, but still it is technically older. Now, where the debate is that the historic Gatlinburg Inn is still owned and operated by the original owners, while, as we've already talked about, the Patel owners are not the original. They actually purchased it from the original. But if you're going to look at it that way, I guess Gatlinburg Inn is still the oldest locally owned and operated in the area. But technically, these guys are the oldest physically. The hotel itself obviously expanded afterwards and is now what it is today. Now, when the Patel brothers decided to start their investment into the area, they wanted to really make this a bougie place, and they put some serious money in here. They went through and tore out just about everything, modernizing the place, rebuilding it, and it took a while to do. However, they tried to keep the building's integrity and its history. That was their ultimate goal. They wanted a place for adults to go that they felt it was a little bit more upscale, but at the same time, still have that old feel Gatlinburg experience. Now, even though we have gone to the Heirloom Room restaurant, we haven't actually stayed in the lodge itself. I'm very excited to stay there. Perhaps we'll try to do that this summer. It just hasn't happened yet. However, I would love to hear from any of you out there who have stayed at any of these places. I would love to hear your reviews because honestly, I might have had a wonderful experience, but then other people did not, or vice versa. So it's always good to get as many opinions out there as possible. Either way, the next time you're looking to book a stay in Gatlinburg, consider one of these places because they may be older, they may look awful tacky at times, but you know what? That's what a vacation should be. Something different, something unique, and something special. I hope this video helps you plan your visit to the Smoky Mountains. You're getting an honest review from our personal experiences, but facts and things change, like restaurants and places closed. So please keep us in the loop if you learn anything new and want to share your experiences in the comments. Thanks again for visiting us at